USA Football's Levels of Contact is a teaching tool we use to not only increase player confidence and teach skills, but manipulate the intensity of practice so you can better control the amount of contact your players have and hopefully help reduce injuries. Levels of Contact accomplishes three key things. First, it improves player confidence. Putting a player in a situation they're not ready for can hurt their success. Players succeed most when they have quality repetitions. They're able to do the skill well. This leads to improved confidence and more excitement about the upcoming drills. Secondly, Levels of Contact gives you a pyramid approach to teaching the skills. You can introduce the drill versus air, progress to bags. Finally, you'll move to player-on-player contact. Even player-on-player contact has different levels of intensity. This gives you a chance to make sure your players have mastered the technique. If a player can't execute a drill versus a bag well, chances of him doing it against another competitive opponent aren't great. This means he's not ready to move on. His skill development is only at the bag stage. Thirdly, Levels of Contact is great for helping you manipulate your total daily and weekly practice volume. You can't run kids live scrimmage every day, all practice. This will not only wear them down physically, but also wear them down mentally. They won't be as excited for contact. These three things are what makes Levels of Contact such an important teaching tool. You can control the things you need within your practice. We encourage all coaches to use Levels of Contact to create a better, safer game for your players. To start Levels of Contact, we use air. Air means players executing a skill versus zero resistance, no opposition. After we've mastered a technique versus air, we move to bags. Bags gives our young players a soft contact surface. This will help improve their confidence and allow them to work on their skills without having fear of running into another player. The next level is control. Control means there will be player-to-player contact, but we're predetermining a winner. In a defensive drill, we'll call it defensive control, meaning we tell our offensive players we want our defensive player to win the contact so he can better perfect his skill. Because we're telling him to give himself up and let our defensive player win, we tell our defensive player, do not take the offensive player to ground. This is a level of contact where all players should stay on their feet. The next level we progress to is thud. After players have mastered their skill versus a teammate who's letting them win, we'll move to a competitive environment. Thud tempo is competitive speed with no predetermined winner. The difference between that and game situations is we're making sure all contact is above the waist and we're keeping players on their feet. Coaches will need to use a quick whistle or quick command to stop the drill before players go to ground. Now, even though we're not going to ground, thud tempo is a competitive pace and there are collisions occurring. Make sure throughout the course of your practice week, you limit the amount of thud work you use. Especially as you get closer to games, you want to pull back to control. Let the offense or defense win so they have some success preparing for the game and reduce the total number of impacts your players take. The final and most advanced level of contact is live work or scrimmage work. This is the only time players should be allowed to go to ground both tackling and blocking. This will simulate game situations. We advise that you only use live tempo in team drills when you're trying to simulate game situations. When you're trying to teach skills during individual periods or trying to focus on specific things in small group work, using control or thud is a much better option, as you'll know the outcome, you'll control the pace, you'll control the collision. This will allow you to teach at tempos your players are ready for and help reduce injury by limiting the total number of contacts.
Creating a daily practice plan. When developing a daily practice plan, it is important to cover all areas that you and your staff will teach that day. A quality plan should be divided into periods not exceeding 20 minutes, and the practice guidelines should be utilized with a USA Football level of contact assigned to each period. The practice plan should include the following periods. A warm-up period. The goal is to raise the player's core body temperature. This is conducted against air. An individual period. Players learn and practice the techniques needed to play each position based on assignments. Offensive position drills in this plan are conducted against bags. A heads-up tackle circuit. Coaches operate a rotation of stations to drill tackling fundamentals. This is shown as a control drill, allowing player-on-player contact with a predetermined winner. Challenge periods can be included during any contact skill and are a tool to test the drill work you have been doing. Energy is high, but duration is short to minimize full contact. Here we show a 5-minute thud tackle challenge period. This counts toward our full contact limits. A group period. Use small segments of offensive and defensive players to practice against one another in a controlled environment. The group periods for today are inside run and pass skelly. Inside run, where players run between the tackles, will be split into 2 segments to lessen total contact. Half the time is control, and the pace increased the second half with thud. A special teams period. Segments of the kicking game can be practiced. This example is the punt team and punt protection versus bags, non-contact. A team period. This is where the offense practices against the defense using predetermined plays and defenses. Here we make up the duration of our full contact work by doing 15 minutes of thud while running plays against each other. Team announcements are made at the end of practice. It is recommended to invite parents onto the field to listen as well. When we examine our practice plan and pay special attention to levels of contact, you will see how 30 minutes of full contact is conducted during a 2-hour practice and the total amount of full contact using levels of contact.